It is about your siblings. Your relationship with your siblings. Not necessarily all of them, but at least a few of them, more than one. There's a fiery climax approaching with something going on with your siblings that you may be resisting or not wanting to experience, because my nose is really itchy. Like a truth that you have known about, or an action you have wanted to take in setting a boundary, or maybe having the tough conversation or confronting them about something that you know may be very uncomfortable or intense, and it feels like it is on its way, or it's here, or you're going to be put in the circumstances that will help make that happen. Because it feels like you've lost your relationship with certain siblings by no means of your own, because you have intentionally tried to reach out, be supportive, but you know they've done things that hurt you, or they've never owned up to, or they've avoided, or won't talk about because they're passive. I heard come to a head though, like something is going to come to a head here. What is that, Spirit? What do we need to know more specifically about that? What can we know that will be helpful? Okay, I'm feeling like they want me to use a moon deck here. Astrology Black Moon deck. Did one of them like really cut you deep? Like emotionally stabbed you in the gut, but then never brought it up again? But they didn't even do it in a direct, harmful way, because this sibling or a few siblings, they're not really like direct, rude, harmful, manipulative people. It's just something they did like really like stabbed you in the gut. We have the Yod card of Destiny. This has to do with a soul contract that you had together, you and a few siblings. And I'm seeing like phases of this soul contract, like phases of a project. Like, oh, when this is complete, this is what will happen. When this is complete, this is what will happen. And you're like on this final phase or peak phase toward the end that I heard like the roughest but also most exciting phase. We've got Mercury retrograde. And as I film this, we are in a Mercury retrograde. We have the solar eclipse revolution card, an air element for communication. Okay. If this big thing, this shift in your dynamic, in your relationships doesn't happen, this soul contract is only going to go backwards. Like it will never fulfill. I'm seeing like an order system where like a product being purchased or a sample being tested, like once it gets to a certain point, if something hasn't happened to it, the machine or the system kicks it back to the previous spot to make sure that part is put on or that test is done. And it will keep getting kicked back and kicked back, this soul contract, unless you, flying cards here, unless you deal with this thing. And you've got to communicate with them. You have to have the conversation. You have to go first. And it's going to be fiery. It's going to be fiery. And it's going to be uncomfortable. But words have to be said. Words have to be said. And you don't have to do this. This doesn't have to be harmful or in a life-shattering way. You don't have to corner these people or have a reckoning with them, or what's the word? An intervention. You don't have to have an intervention. You've just got to be like, hey, this stuff happened to me during my relationship with you, and I don't want this to go backwards. I want whatever it is to be resolved or healed or move forward, and I'm going to be the one to bring it up and talk about it because you want this climax to be over with, right? Oh, man. Okay, let me know how that goes for you. If you'd like specific guidance on your particular situation, book a private session, put it in the notes with your order, and let's see if we can get you more particulars on this situation for you, okay? You got this. You got this. Finish this soul contract.